And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of Culturally Conscious Communications here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, here on the Living in Black.com. My name is Keely Owado, aka The Conscious Buster. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 8 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives. We deal with entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Wednesday. This is the 11th day of June, 2025 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we've realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, here on Living in Black.com. And we are live once again here on LIV Radio. What a joy it is to be with you in this seat every day. I think I've pretty well prepared for today's conversation, and I hope you do find it to be fascinating, informative, inspiring. Yeah, we want to be all of that for all of you. Let me give you a rundown of what we are going to be talking about today. The topic is detox fasting for life. Today on LIVradio.com, we discuss the topic of the living superfood protocol to detox. Through this 21-day guided workshop, we will lead you to revive, rejuvenate, and restore your youthful vitality through quarterly detoxification of your 18 body systems. Within this time-proven system, you can reduce your weight, avoid getting sick, stay off prescription drugs, and significantly extend your life expectancy. It sounds too amazing that one single protocol, engaged up to 4 times a year, can give you so much more strength and vitality. So that is the subject of today's discussion. We welcome all of you to our listening audience here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, and livinginblack.com. I'm going to go into, well, let me just give you a setup on this. Again, by aligning our detox protocols with the sun, we do a number of things. For one, we know exactly when it's going to be taking place so we can anticipate it, get all of our supplies together. We also are tapping into a very ancient system of spiritual expression. This is the ancient Kemetic system. Ancient Kemet, when Africa ruled the world with the highest civilization, the priests of ancient Kemet used to prepare themselves for the most sacred times of the year that they considered. The crossings, 4 times a year, vernal equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, winter solstice. And they would have multiple days of rituals that they would engage in. And so what they would do is they would prepare their body by detoxifying their body so that the purity, the purity of the spirit would be up to match the seasonal celebrations. It also is a great way of synchronizing your body, especially your pineal gland, to the seasons of the year. So therefore, the seasons, and as the weather changes with the seasons, are not so difficult to bear because we've already gone through what might seem to be the harder part. So this is a miraculous system, detoxification fasting. And as you know, I'm very strict on it. I do adhere exactly to the calendar. I teach and I lead a 21-day detox. But for myself, I engage in a 28-day detox. And some of you do as well. By engaging in a 28-day detox, I get everything done that I need and even more. Even more. So let's get ready to rumble. The first day of summer is 9 days from today. It is the 20th, June 20, 2025 is the first day of the summer solstice. It is the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. And it will be amongst the warmest days of the year here in Las Vegas, especially. Let's go into our subject for today. Now, what I did for today, I pulled together a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to add this to the stage, PowerPoint. I'm going to minimize me and let you focus on the detoxification protocol. Detoxification fasting. This is the living superfood method. So are you ready to rumble? Are you ready to rumble? Yeah, we're ready to rumble. Let's get right into it. And if anybody out there has any comments for your brother, I would love to hear from you today. So let's go into it right now at will. The living superfood detox protocol. One, let's talk about the 7 principles. Well, we do talk about the 7 principles in LIB or in the living superfood. And I think I have this up, the 7 principles. Here, let me just give it to you. These 7 principles of optimal health are essentially the 7 keys to maintaining our optimal control over our body. The first of the 7 principles is the breath. And we're not going to go through the 7 principles today. We're going to be focusing specifically on periodic detoxing. The first of the 7 principles is managing the breath. Second, hydration. Proper hydration is very, very key to managing our longevity. Number 3 is, of course, nutrition. The fourth of the 7 principles is sleep or exercise. Not sleep or exercise, sleep or rest. The 5th principle is exercise. The 6th of the 7 principles is detoxification fasting. And the 7th of the 7 principles of optimal health is managing our mind, body, spirit matrix. So now you have access to the 7 principles. Let's go into principle number 6, which is detoxification fasting. Now, in living superfood research, we go deep into explaining a spectrum of healthy advantages which come with adding seasonal fasting and detoxification to our discipline. And yes, this does require discipline. It doesn't require any humane or superhuman discipline, but it does require you to say, hey, I'm going to follow this protocol and I'm not going to deviate from it. Some people will have a hard time with it, but I contend those same people have a hard time with much of what is done. We can do better than that, no doubt. So This is a topic worthy of ongoing study and is much greater than what I am showcasing here. I have engaged in 4 seasonal detoxification fasts each year for over 20 years, commencing each fast on the first day of each transitioning season: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And I will generally extend the fasting process out to 28 days, a full lunar cycle, but have engaged in extended fasts which have lasted for as long as 40 and 42 days. Now, I have this is from a note of a class I was teaching, and I have a note there: go to MS Word, and we would switch over to the book and then go into that chapter. Right now, I've just went through the extensive group of files. I pulled them all together, put them in one folder, and then I chose each of the ones today that do mention detox fasting. So let's go forward. Periodic detox fasting is detailed in the book, Living Superfood Research. I have long considered periodic or seasonal fasting to be one of our primary tools for creating an optimally healthy wellness pathway. Therefore, it is firmly established as one of the 7 principles of optimal health. And we cannot overemphasize the value of these 7 principles that were mentioned in Living Superfood Research and pretty much covered in most all of the books on health that I have published since then. It's just such a profound idea that we have to build on it. Nutritional supplementation is a significant part. As our bodies mature, our endocrine system ages. Endocrinosenescence is what that's called, and will produce lesser amounts of certain hormones that were abundant during younger years. Supplementation with hormone rejuvenators is thus advantageous toward our strategic goal of longevity and high performance. Now, that one didn't mention detox. Maybe it goes on. It goes on. The level of environmental stressors that we encounter today is the greatest that it has ever been in the history of our biological evolution. And thus, any additional support to bolster the antioxidants that counter oxidative stress is greatly to our advantage. During our seasonal health maintenance strategies, detoxification is one of the most valuable practices one can adopt. There are a number of detoxifying supplements which are helpful to maintain youthfulness. For these and other reasons, I have dozens of supplements that I have added to my living superfood arsenal over the years, including the detox supplements such as Cascara Sagrada or CKLS. There is EDTA. There is Parasite Cleanse, Activated Charcoal, Bentonite Clay. These and other substances we use during our strategic detox program to cleanse the body. The eliminative system. Strategies to support the health of your eliminative system include, but are not limited to: number 1, maximize the amount of insoluble and soluble fiber you consume via plant-based diet. Meat, dairy, and eggs contain 0 fiber. So we're going to maximize the insoluble and soluble fiber. Meat, dairy, and eggs contain no fiber. Chicken, beef, pork, no fiber at all. Number 2, drink plenty of water daily. Number 3, avoid eating excessive sugar. Number 4, use probiotic supplements, and we will be incorporating probiotic supplements in the detox fast. Use prune juice or dried prunes to keep yourself regular. Also, Prunes are loaded with antioxidants. Eat whole fruits daily. Periodically use an herbal laxative and engage a parasite cleanse. It's part of our detox program. Some people use colon hydrotherapy, which is flushing the lower intestines with water. Coffee enemas are highly regarded detoxing flushes. Orange peels are also reported as detox agents. So we do want to be deliberate about these processes. And there's just a bunch of things that you can do on a regular basis. But specifically, I am going to teach you how to use all of these during our 21-day group detox. And what is this good for? It's part of your neurological system is going to be benefiting from it. In fact, all 18 of the body's internal systems, respiratory system, cardiovascular system, pulmonary system, the reproductive system, the neurological system, the eliminative system, the digestive system, every one of your body's 18 internal systems will benefit from the detoxification. Every one of your body's internal systems. Therefore, this is imperative. I'm double checking to see how many people are in the Living Superfood chat. I'm not really seeing much of an audience today. We're going to do the best we can. I do see we are joined on you now. We're going to do the best we can to do the best that we can to let all of you know that those of you who are tuned in, this is where you wanted to be. Let's talk about the nervous system. How to optimize function of your nervous system include the following. Avoid toxic stressors, such as industrial chemicals, pesticides, gasoline fumes, airborne pollution, and many household cleaning products. All the more reason to detox. Do not use tobacco products or do not smoke cannabis, marijuana, hemp, pot, weed, reefer, joints, the ganja, mota, the chronic grass, skunk, blunts, wacky weed, giggle smoke, jolly green, dinky dow, or the boom. Do not use them. Consume nerve healthy foods like dark chocolate without refined sugar, antioxidant rich foods such as prunes, papaya, oranges, bananas, leafy greens, and essential fatty acids. Supplement with vitamin B complex, minerals like calcium and potassium, gotu kola, calcium and potassium, gotu kola, bear with me, ginkgo biloba, ashwagandha, and rhodiella rosea, Arctic root or Siberian ginseng, sage, and turmeric are all powerful antioxidants. Maintain a healthy gut microbiome. Engage in meditative exercise practices such as yoga and stretching. Use herbal teas like green tea, rooibos, chamomile, and uva ursa, peppermint, valerian root, lavender, hops tea, lemon balm, and rose tea. Engage in periodic detoxification to include chelation therapy to remove heavy metals such as lead, mercury, aluminum, cadmium, arsenic, excessive iron. Use chelation therapies that include sodium dicalcium, EDTA, bentonite clay, and activated charcoal. And this list up here on your screen, I cannot overstress the value of this list. It's taken me 50 years, taken me 50 years to put this together. And I'm really quite proud of it. Many people are just hearing about this for the first time. I see you in the house, Ed L. Mack. He's joining us. He says, greetings. Greetings to you, Brother Ed. Are you, let me ask you this, are you planning to detox either with us or without us, our group? Are you planning your summer detox, you, your wife? I do highly encourage all couples to do so. Keep each other in check. So come on, Ed. We'd love to have you with us. Love to. We're going forward. Next page on this, respiratory system. We're talking once again about the 18 body systems. This respiratory system. The respiratory system is a biological system consisting of specific organs and structures used for gas exchange. The main organs of which are the lungs. The pulmonary system consists of upper and lower pulmonary structures, bronchial, systemic circulation, and gas exchange at the level of the lungs and tissue cells. The anatomy and physiology that makes this happen vary greatly, depending on the size of the organism, the environment in which it lives, and its evolutionary history. And I will say this much regarding the respiratory system. Most of us don't have a plan to keep the respiratory system pristine and clean. You think about it. The respiratory system is quite magnificent. It breathes in the air every day, all day long, in the same room in which your house is gathering dust particles. So just imagine what's going through your respiratory system, and then imagine why it would be necessary for you to clean it and to keep it pristine as possible, because this respiratory system has to last you for life. We got to get serious. We must get serious about protecting all of our body parts for life. Going forward, enjoy the benefits of living superfood. My testimony upon moving from vegan to full spectrum hypernutrition is remarkable. Symptoms such as tiredness upon wakening disappeared, along with nagging pain in my right shoulder, which had plagued me for over a year. I recovered from the need to use reading glasses. My weight stopped its roller coaster fluctuation between my quarterly detox fast and has now stabilized 31 pounds lighter, 14 kgs lighter than when I began my last fast as a vegan. I gained all of these benefits because I elevated my nutrition to a mostly raw superfoodist while still maintaining seasonal detoxification fasting. My cognitive functioning has improved. Since this came out, I have written probably about 20 to 30 books. My cognitive functioning has improved. And I registered an increase in my tested IQ. These days, I sleep only 5 to 6 hours at night, yet wake up completely rejuvenated. Sexual libido has returned to the steamy level I had that was in my early 30s. Wounds heal much faster, and I no longer, quote, catch colds or suffer nasal mucus plugs. I dropped the habit of hacking up mucus throughout the day. As a result, I rarely must deal with gastrointestinal stress, bloating, and gas. My blood pressure has tested at 114 over 71, and I have not visited a doctor due to illness in over 30 years. Now, I gotta say, I went to Uganda about 3 years ago, and I caught malaria. And once I think about it now, I would not go to the doctor. I would just do what I did to fix it, and that is use the juice in my first recipe book called Rocket Fuel. That one got me out of the hospital. Oh, and by the way, when I did go to the doctor for malaria, they told me I had, you know what, because that was during that pandemic. They were after the money. I can understand why they did that, but that didn't help me out at all. My blood pressure tested at 114 over 71, and I have not visited a doctor, had not visited a doctor due to illness in over 30 years. In other words, the symptoms of what some people come to think of as normal aging have all disappeared. As a result, I am younger than I was 20 years ago. Now, I wrote this 64 Advantages of Living Superfood. I wrote this in 2020, 2014. I think it was 2012 or 2014. And that was 64 Advantages was included in the book, Living Superfood Research, which I still contend is my outstanding book of on this topic of living superfood. I see you in house. Ed said, yes, I am. I'm working on the wife. Yeah, bring Tracy along, Ed. We need her in the group. I would love to have you and she together representing in the group. But congratulations, Ed. And Tracy, you know we want you in the detox group. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Live as long as you choose to live and be as strong, healthy, vital as you possibly want. Don't worry about the weight because you got it under control. Don't worry about colds, acute illnesses, acute inflammatory illnesses. Don't worry about metabolic diseases. Take charge. Take charge of it all. Take charge of it all. How do we take charge? Detox fasting is one of the best ways we take charge. The 7 principles of optimal health, all 7 of them work symbiotically. That is the plan for taking charge. My list of 64 benefits of living superfood is not the entire list. This is just a little bit of it. Number 33, this is the benefit of living superfood. It increases the overall immune system function to combat opportunistic infections, acute diseases, autoimmune disorders, and the impact of any acquired immune deficiency disorder. Even those diagnosed with fully developed AIDS, said to be caused by a retrovirus, despite much evidence to the contrary, will benefit when we clear the blood of the great excess of immunoglobulin caused by multiple environmental stresses. This nutrition regime, combined with effective detoxification, can likely result in the reversal of a positive reaction on ELISA-based testing for antibody proteins said to be indicative of chronic infections. And we'll talk about that reversal. Let's be clear. Christine Johnson of the UCLA Research Center showed that there were 70 conditions that cross-reacted on the HIV antibody test. 70 conditions. So don't dismiss her work. I met Christine. Christine was a very intelligent woman, very intelligent. Going forward, optimize nutrition balances the production of female estrogen and male androgen hormones. We all have both type of hormones, and they must be in proper balance for us to fully function, for our reproductive system as well as the brain function to be in a proper functioning method. So optimize nutrition. That's what we're talking about. A nutrient dense diet improves sexual desire, libido, and function. This improvement is reminiscent of that period of age in our teens and 20s, is when the body is at prime productive reproductive functioning. This youthfulness is the period of our optimal fecundity, meaning our optimal ability to bear children. This comes as a consequence of maintaining and sustaining a nutrient dense diet. Unfortunately, many of us, when we're in our youth, do not engage in an optimal nutrition. So therefore, we ended up spoiling it all before it would normally be spoiled. We mess up our reproductive system by our early 30s, especially for women. Women's reproductive system begins to deteriorate right around the age of 30. Now, they can still bear children, but as they get to 37 and above, it gets more difficult. If they have not born any children, it becomes more difficult to give birth to the first one. And if a woman should miscarry in her 30s, mid 30s, it's much more difficult to have multiple children from that point on. And we encourage all of our sisters. We do need you to bear those children. We do. We need you to bear the children of the future. Going forward, we're talking today about detoxification. And what I did was I went through a PowerPoint presentation and I just picked out everything that had the words detox or detoxification in it. Let's keep going. Time gains with this optimized lifestyle. Here's what we get as a reward. The tactic of full spectrum hypernutrition primarily facilitates this realignment of time. On Living Superfood, because the body is so close to homeostasis all the time, based on my experience, the normal 8 hours of sleep needed for nocturnal restoration is cut to 6 hours. On Living Superfood, 6 hours. You wake up fresh, don't even need alarms. All you need is the sun. Over the course of 7 days in a week, this can produce 14 extra waking and alert hours. What would you do with an additional 14 alert waking hours each week? One thing I would do with it is I would prepare food that keeps me in it. That's what I'm talking about. There are 4.37 weeks in a month. This allows us as much as 61.18 extra waking hours per month. This represents a net gain of 2.55 days each month. How much more productive would you be with with an additional 2.55 days each month? Wow. I'd use mine to write books. Over a year, 365.25 days. This can mean a gain of alert waking hours as much as 730.5 hours, which translates to a total of 30.4 days. This is the living superfood lifestyle I've been talking about for years, people. This is a lifestyle that gives you so much more alert waking time. What would you do if you had 30.4 extra days each year? What would you do with that time? You could do anything that you will. By living a holistic lifestyle, represented in the Living Superfood 7 Principles of Optimal Health, we can reasonably expect to extend our life expectancy by 30 years. Extend our life expectancy by 30 years. All of that time we gained, now we get 30 more years to do it in. This includes a superfood vegan diet, strategic detoxification, and vigorous exercise. This is the triumph of the will. The triumph of the will. You vow to take control of this important part of your life. Your awareness of subjects relating to health, nutrition, exercise, detoxification, and working with outside resources has now increased. You soon realize that numerous diet businesses, motivational coaches, agencies, organizations, and counselors are all vying for your attention and your money. Many of these will present practical and effective information. Yet, no small number of these health promotion agents, public or private, have success records that are not particularly impressive. Yet they remain in business year after year and often draw significant numbers of people to strive to follow their programs, rarely even questioning whether the investment elsewhere might produce better results. Whether the investment elsewhere might produce better results. What is toxic in your bathroom? This is a very serious subject, and this is what I pulled out of the large body of PowerPoint slides that I had gotten. What is toxic in your bathroom? This article was written by Stacy Russell from the magazine Toxic Life. She wrote, bathrooms themselves aren't toxic, but you will soon be surprised to know what many of the products you use in the bathroom contain toxins. From the toilet cleaner to your mascara, there are toxins lurking in your bathroom. But look on the bright side. You can minimize your exposure by knowing what chemicals to look out for and why. The deeper you dig, the more products you will find contain toxins that are harmful to our health. From products that we use to beautify and clean ourselves to those we use for cleaning the bathrooms, everything contains some exposure to the toxins that pose harm to human health. Be mindful, be careful and mindful when purchasing products, and try to use toxic-free cleaning products whenever you can. Look for alternatives like essential oils to both help you clean and detox your medicine cabinet. Plus, do your own research at ewg.org to check the toxin level of the product you are using. Don't get overwhelmed. Little changes each week will add up and reduce your toxic exposure dramatically. Don't get overwhelmed. This is a very serious point she's making. Don't get overwhelmed. Make little changes every week. And that's what I say about the 21-day detox. You know, it is often said, I often say it, old habits are hard to break, but new habits form quickly. And it is said that repeating any one thing for 21 days will now have that as a new habit. 21 days in a row, it becomes a new habit. This is why we do 21-day detox fasting. So you will start to think that I am going to be systematic inside of this protocol without pause, with no break in my discipline for a mere 21 days. You can do it. I know you can do it because I've been doing it 4 times a year for over 20 years. Detox fasting. It is a miracle. I do see you have joined us in the house for Africa One, Hotel Brother Keedy, and Global LAB family. Sorry to check in so late. You are on time, beloved. Today, our subject matter is detox fasting for life. We're discussing the topic of the Living Superfood Protocol to Detox. This 21-day guided detox workshop will lead you to revive, rejuvenate, and restore your youthful vitality through quarterly detoxification of your 18 body systems. With this time-proven system, you can reduce your weight, avoid getting sick, stay off prescription drugs, and significantly extend your life expectancy. It sounds too amazing that one single protocol engaged up to 4 times a year can give you so much more strength and vitality. But yeah, it does work. It is real. And I'm going to be putting into the comment or the comment box at the end of today's program. Well, actually, you will see it up there now. So if this is going to be on the Rumble comment, this is the protocol that we will be engaging. There are 2 payment programs. There is the single payment program, which you pay one payment of, it's like $149, I think it is. And then there is a 2 payment program. So the one single payment is $169. I'm pretty sure that's it. And then the 2 payment protocol is 2 payments of $89.99 a piece. So that comes to $180 for the 2, or $170 for the 1. I think that's it. So you save a few dollars. No, I think it's 160. Hey, you double check it. But I'm going to post those in the bottom, the single second. We have 11 days to organize this class. And I tell you, for everyone who is in the class, you will not regret. You will not regret joining us. I promise you. This is great. So I'm going to push that up there. The links are also on the Facebook page. And I have the single payment here. Let me tell you what that is right now. I'm going to go ahead, click on that link. And the single payment option is $169.99. And that's saving $11 from the dual payment option. So let's go forward. We are continuing our dialogue here. I am on the page. What is toxic in your bathroom? That's where we left off. We're going to go right back there. We're going to pick it up with the next slide. These are 52 factors that increase your life expectancy. Now, I have three books really on longevity out now. And I've also have a living superfood longevity calculator. And many of these items are listed on the calculator. The calculator has like 50, no, not 50, it's about 30 different factors that increase your life expectancy. So here are some of the others, including 30, staying socially active and engaging with inspiring people. 31, make reading, education, and learning a lifelong passion. 32, find joy in and practice music and the arts. 33, avoid pharmaceutical drugs and their side effects. In fact, you want to avoid a number of pharmaceutical drugs. I think there were 70 of them we found out were associated with increased risk of cancer. That's in the book, A Year Against Cancer. Pharmaceutical drugs that raise your risk of getting cancer? No, no, no. We're not going out like that. Number 34, avoid harmful medical practices such as gamma radiation and chemotherapies, unnecessary surgeries, and painkillers. Number 35, avoid prolonged stays in hospitals with risk of infection of dangerous germs. Number 36, minimize or eliminate coffee, including decaffeinated coffee. Number 37, avoid consuming sodas, soft drinks, and processed fizzy drinks. Number 38, do not consume, quote, high energy drinks at all, which contain stimulants and sugar. Number 39, engage in seasonal systemic detoxification. That's the program we're going to be doing together. Number 40, maintain good dental health. 41, have more sex and live romantically. That's a good one. That's a good one. And I'm not being profane or rude or whatever. No, engage in youthful activities. Number 42, get health screenings and tests. 43, turn off the television and live more, quote, in the now. Number 44, avoid risk taking. Don't live in a stressful or dangerous neighborhood. 45, build prosperity into your life and avoid poverty. 46, exclude environmental toxins from your home and workplace. Number 47, prioritize happiness. Laugh regularly and have a great sense of humor. Number 48, identify and minimize your mental stress and anxiety. 49, keep a positive mental attitude. Number 50, keep your memory, cognitive, and mental functions in the greatest shape possible. 51, develop an enhanced consciousness and awareness of the world. And 52, live with a powerful, massive, transformative purpose, MTP. These are among 52 factors that increase your life expectancy. And I highly encourage all of you to get the books Living Superfood Longevity and the more recent books 100 Plus Lifespan, and the latest book is The Stem Cell Revolution, Natural and Holistic Practices for Activating Stem Cells. We are getting there. We're near the end of today's presentation. We are talking about anti-aging supplementation as our bodies mature. Our endocrine system ages, which is called endocrinosenescence. And the endocrine system will thus produce lesser amounts of certain hormones that were abundant during younger years. Supplementation with hormone rejuvenators is thus very advantageous, I should say. The level of environmental stressors that we encounter today is the greatest that has been in the history of our biological evolution. And thus, any additional support to bolster the antioxidants that counter oxidative stress is greatly to our advantage. Within our seasonal health maintenance strategies, detoxification is one of the most valuable practices one can adopt. In addition, many detoxifying supplements are also helpful to maintain youthfulness. I have dozens of supplements that I have added to my living superfood arsenal over the years for these and other reasons. In the book, Living Superfood Longevity, I share the supplemental secrets, supplying a few notes about each. It is a fascinating and compelling lesson each of us should know for life. The nervous system, again, we're back to the body systems. 18 systems in the body, the nervous system, the neurological system, avoid toxic stressors such as industrial chemicals, pesticides, gasoline fumes, airborne pollution, and many household cleaning projects. I may have used this earlier. I did view this panel earlier, but you may have missed it. I'll repeat it. Do not use tobacco products or do not smoke cannabis, also known as marijuana, hemp, pot, weed, reefer, joints, the ganja, mota, the chronic, grass, skunk, blunts, wacky weed, giggle smoke, jolly green, dinky dow, or the boom. Do consume nerve healthy foods like dark chocolate without refined sugar, antioxidant rich foods such as prunes, papaya, oranges, bananas, leafy greens, and essential fatty acids. Supplement with vitamin B complex, with minerals like calcium and potassium and magnesium. Gotu kola, ginkgo biloba, ashwagandha, and rhodiola rosea, Arctic root or Siberian ginseng. Supplement with sage and turmeric. Maintain a healthy gut microbiome. I cannot overemphasize that much. Maintain a vigorous, robust, healthy gut microbiome. That in itself will tremendously improve your life. Engage in meditative exercise practices such as yoga and stretching. Use herbal teas such as green tea, rooibos, chamomile, and uva ursa, peppermint, valerian root, lavender, hops tea, lemon balm, and rose tea. Engage in periodic detoxification to include chelation therapy to remove heavy metals such as lead, mercury, aluminum or aluminium, cadmium, arsenic, excess iron. Use chelation therapies that include sodium dicalcium EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid, bentonite clay, and activated charcoal. And fiber, an often neglected topic of wellness discussion. Fiber plays a major role in digestive health. Fiber is the fuel the colon cells use to keep them healthy. Fiber also helps to keep the digestive tract flowing by keeping your bowel movements soft and regular. It is possible to get too much fiber, and your body will know it. And that statement about it's possible to get too much fiber, well, the side effect of too much fiber is you will go to the bathroom even more. That's the only side effect. That's not a bad side effect. The standard American diet is consistently empty of sufficient fiber to maintain optimized health compared to much greater amounts found in many indigenous diets around the world. So fiber, 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 fiber. Can't say it enough. How much fiber is there in meat? None. Chicken? None. Other fowl? None. How much fiber do we get by eating eggs? Zero fiber. None. How much fiber is there in milk? Zero fiber. Cheese? None. Cream? None. No fiber. So when you're eating the majority of those foods, your plate is full of those foods, and a tiny little section over here is the veggies, maybe some green beans or potatoes. You are cheating your body out of the fiber that it needs, it craves to prevent colorectal cancer, stomach cancer. You're cheating your gut microbiome of the fuel it needs to stay robust and healthy. You're cheating yourself out of life. And you can't and don't want to even try to live that cheated life. So I have come to the end of today's presentation, and I hope you have found this to be exciting, informative. I hope that you do see the beautiful advantage of having this in your arsenal. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put up the books, a couple of the books that I was talking about today. In fact, I'm just going to take you through a kind of a tour of my books so that you will be able to support the station, and you will be able to build your library of your arsenal of anti-aging literature. It's a good thing. Definitely is a good thing. So here we have up on the table several books. These are all new in the last 4 or 5 months. These all came out beginning in December. They include A Year Against Cancer, which has a lot about everything we talked about today, about detoxification, about getting those heavy metals out, about fiber and boosting your gut microbiome. A Year Against Cancer. It's the book that 2 out of 5 people need to have, and we don't know which 2 out of the 5 there are. So I suggest all 5 of the people get the book A Year Against Cancer, and therefore let nobody be diagnosed with cancer. As it is right now in America, it's 2 out of 5 people. Can we do better than that? Yes, but most people don't think. They don't think to do it deliberately, and so therefore they are burdened with this. Chewicide, the movie, is now Chewicide, the book. Don't, it's a food so delicious, it's to die for. Living Superfood Solutions, you know that one is loaded, loaded, loaded with the information that we share today. and The Stem Cell Revolution, one of the four recent books, and I highly recommend it. Cannot talk about it enough. Get the book, The Stem Cell Revolution, and live again. Get young. Stay forever young. We have a number of other books up in here. Let me just kind of go forward. Suicide, the cancer, a year against cancer. I cannot emphasize a year against it. Stay focused for a whole year. And you may have to do it once a decade. Just stay focused. Do everything in the book for a year and reduce your risk of cancer. Suicide. These one folder. I have a whole bunch of information on nutrition in this one folder. Let me just give you the introduction, the back cover to A Year Against Cancer. Here's what I have to say. I would certainly never, ever want to hear these frightening words from a medical professional. You have cancer. I'm sure that you, the reader, nor your friends, family, coworkers, or other associates feel the same. It would seem logical that we would all do all we could do to avoid being in such an undesirable situation. Our knowledge about the very nature and logic of cancer increases year to year, decade after decade. Still, the risks and rates of diagnosis of nearly all types of the disease continue to rise, in direct contradiction to this expansion of scientific comprehension. What in the world is going on? And how can we, through deliberate strategies, escape this cancer dilemma? You don't have to submit to cancer without a fight. In the current environment, where it is now projected that 2 in 5 Americans and those living in other advanced technological societies will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime, as well, some are now predicting that this will rise to 1 in 2 during our children's generation. Assuming a passive default position is a highly risky roll of the dice. Doing nothing actively to prevent cancer doesn't allow us to sufficiently feel confident that we are not going to receive the scary diagnosis and push the burden of our destabilization onto our loved ones. This book is fundamentally not about morbid obsession. The book is proactive, inspiring, and intended to excite the reader to positive actions that will undeniably impact our healthy path forward. I am writing this book from the perspective of cutting-edge research to serve an emerging leadership. I'm also writing about my personal experiences in developing a precise health maintenance regimen using the Living Superfood 7 Principles of Optimal Health. Now it's time to share this powerful disease prevention protocol with the world. Living Superfood Solutions. It's called A Year Against Cancer with Living Superfood Solutions. $19, 16 and a half pounds. That's not too much. If you think about what would a cancer diagnosis entail, it's a whole lot more than that. I have a number of books here. Put up Standard Omission, The African Scientific Roots of Greco-Roman Medicine. So don't dismiss me. Don't dismiss us Africans. No, we have been here long before Hippocrates. Enough respect to Hippocrates. Enough respect. But Hippocrates is 22 generations later. And going back, some of the older books we're going to get to. I'm getting to the older books. I've been putting up a lot of images. These are all images for the newer books. The Stem Cell Revolution, if you don't mind, let me read you the introductory back cover. Across the spectrum of books I've authored on health, fitness, and longevity, I've frequently referred to the body's 18 functioning systems. A commonality across this spectrum of functionality is that each system depends on optimized cellular integrity and viability. According to the Living Superfood System of Health and Longevity, our focus on the cell is fundamental. We aim to assume mastery from the cell forward, overall complete wellness. The body has a DNA encoded process for replacing cells that relies on stem cells. Stem cells are cells with the potential to develop into many different types of cells in the body. They serve as a repair system for the body. There are two main types of stem cells: embryonic stem cells and adult stem cells. Our ability to create the ideal internal environment that facilitates the maximum function of adult stem cell creation and differentiation is key to conscious control over our relationship to aging. The Stem Cell Revolution, which is not $11.99. This is an old back cover. This book is actually $20, $19.99. That would be 12.5 pounds. The Stem Cell Revolution, holistic approach. Holistic approach. I do not engage in sticking you with needles, taking things out of your body and then putting them back into your body. No, 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 no. This is the real deal, Holyfield. So we are still going through this photo gallery. These are largely upcoming books. I do have one or two of these books prepared. Well, some of them are already released. The Rebirth of Love, that one is prepared to be released. The Futurenomics Part 2 will be coming out. Quantum Advancement, The Art of the Book Hustle, already out. Strangling the Dream, I may or may not put that out. Another Loaded Needle is actually finished, but not formatted. And then What Are We Going to Do with Christmas may be the very next book I put out. The Queer Empire, that one's going to have to wait. We have other priorities. African Future, Another Loaded Needle, the SPF 66 malaria vaccine, and the plot to decimate the population of Africa. This actually is one of my very first books. I think it's timely right now because they've loaded up another needle, and it may be the SPF 66 malaria vaccine. These people we're dealing with will do stuff like that. So I may put this one out real quick, even though I know few people will want to read it. Maybe you will want to read it, Ed L. Mac or Sister One Africa. I hope you do. I hope you do. So we're going to go forward. Where are we at? This one is so far behind me. We're showing the book titles right now. So we're going to continue going forward. And the next book title up is The Stem Cell Revolution. There's a whole bunch of different books on health. I don't want to go through them all right now. It's about population control. And that's where Another Loaded Needle, Outrage, Panic, Epidemic, all of these books fit in there. All of them mention some aspect of population control. There was a time when population control was my specialty. But at this particular point, I'm assuming all of you who want to know about it do know all about it. And I'm informing you on other much more detailed information. We are continuing with the book list, reading list. I think I'm about finished now because these are all pretty much redundant, repetitive. This is the last one I'm going to cover today. The book is entitled Living Superfood Solutions, Dietary Strategies to Prevent and Reverse Common Chronic Diseases. These include arthritis, autoimmune disorders, cancer, cardiovascular disease, chronic constipation, chronic inflammation, diabetes, edema, dysbiosis, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, immune deficiency, kidney failure, mental illness, metabolic syndrome, overweight or obesity. These include fatty liver disease, peripheral neuropathy, gastrointestinal disorders, thyroid disease, gout, and vitiligo. Very specific solutions. And there's more. I do include sickle cell disease in there, and I do include vitiligo. Oh, I did mention that. There's more. Autoimmune disorders, that's practically all of them. So this book is a very powerful tool. If you have any of those diagnoses, I got somebody wants to talk to me today, got 3 of them. 3 of these. 3 of them at the same time. And I had to work to find out what is the connection between all 3 of those diseases. I'm going to have that conversation shortly. And hopefully convince that person to come up with an emergency program to save their life. So order today and get this 5-book bundle for free. No, not for free. I don't know what that's about. This information will transform your life. I know that with certainty. I'll even pay the postage for the set. I think as if you order something else. I don't know what it's about, but that word free is not, this bundle is not free. The bundle is about $100, a little less than 100. This one's 20, this one's 20, this one's 20, this one's 20, and this one's 15. So that's what, $95? I think it's 75. I discounted it to 75. But it is not free, trust me. And what are we going to do with Xmas? Either I am going to put this book out soon, or I'm going to skip it and say anybody who is still passionate about Christmas, there's nothing I can do. Because there's a whole bunch of things that we need as a people to be investing in. And you say Christmas is for the babies? No, according to the research, cancer is for the babies. What? Yeah. While we're all obsessing with giving them gifts and candy and all this, they're really going to be getting cancer and turned into little psychotic consumers. That's not good. So on that note, I want to invite you all to participate in what we do. The Kujijagalia Villages Project is moving forward. I hope you all see that. I think it's a great idea that we would move into a future together. Kujijagalia Villages is a great idea for that future. So you have been tuned into your favorite. I hope we are your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV. We are livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends that we have our own now. And you know something? Ours is pretty doggone good. Today we talked about detox fasting for life. So we want you to get into this class. It's coming up on the 20th of June. It is 21 days of our detox protocol. And I contend it will be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. On your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV. We are livinginblack.com. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.